My dear friends in Christ, I welcome you to the 25th day of our 40 days and 40 nights global family liberation. Today, the 25th day of our global family liberation, we are praying for the liberation of our adolescents. Today, we are looking at some of those challenges facing our adolescents. We are equally looking at possible ways of liberating, helping, and restoring our adolescents. As we continue, I would like you to answer these few questions. Who are the adolescents? Who are the adolescents? What are the age bracket, or what is their age bracket? Who are the adolescents? As you reflect on this, maybe after answering this question, you will still answer another question. The adolescents, do they have any challenge? Are they facing any challenge in life? What are the challenges these adolescents are facing? Or let's put it like this: what are the challenges the families are facing as a result of adolescent crisis? I know you have your own definitions, and some definitions may be on the way. But one thing I want to assure you, or one thing I want to let you know. Okay, somebody said the period of adolescence is the age between 13, 18 years. You may be correct. Children age from 13. Okay. Between age 13 and 18. So, just picture your mind that age bracket, 13, 18 years. Someone even said 13, 20 years. From teenage years to 20s. Okay, you can still call them teenagers. Some even said 12 to 18. So you can see that there are a lot of, but at least you can get the rough idea. Let's say between 12 and 20. So as to accommodate all the suggestions. Now, children at this age bracket, the teenagers as you call them, what are those challenges they are facing? At the same time, what are the challenges the family faces? For most culture, adult begins the age of 18, marks the beginning of adult. Okay? So, at this age, we notice physical and emotional changes in the life of the children. Gradually, the children, and someone said some of the challenges they face may be mood swings. It is this time that these children are introduced to their peer pressure. So this age bracket, 13, 18 years, I suppose, is this age when children, majority of them are in the secondary school. Primary, secondary, and leaving primary school, ending maybe primary 6, then mainly secondary school. So, and somebody just suggested that at this adolescent age, children are very demanding. This is a challenge to the family, and then they are influenced by their peer group. Okay, peer group pressure. A lot of people are of the view that at this age stage, children are exposed and they are influenced by their peer groups. So somebody have just mentioned challenge in handling puberty. So now, problems of puberty. Whatever be the case, one thing I want you to know is, if children are not well grounded at home, this is the time they slipped out of the hands of their parents if care is not taken. Because definitely this is not a time these children are under the care of the family. They have moved out. Some of them may be in primary school, most of them in secondary school. So they are meeting with other peer groups. They are learning a lot, good and bad. Okay? Some mention inferiority complex, confusion, because most of the things they learned at home, you will now discover, you now go out, you discover a different world altogether. So they have to face a confusion between what they have learned from home, what they are now learning from their teachers, and what they are now learning from their peer group. So some of them may decide to withdraw, secrecy. That is when secrecy come into play. Some of them may decide to withdraw, keeping things to themselves. Some of them may equally, the ones that are open, you see them arguing with their parents. Some of them may be proving stubborn. Okay, you see that parents, if you are not careful, is a very delicate and very sensitive time in the life of children. They can easily get depressed if care is not taken, because a lot of things happens. Some of these children, when they now meet with other children, they start comparing themselves. Those of them from the poor background, they will now discover a different world altogether. And there is a deep question that they don't even know how to ask. They don't even know who will answer them. For instance, why are we not equal? Why are some families more blessed than the others? You go to school, you discover that some children will trek to school. Other children, their parents will drive them to school. Both cases, have advantage and disadvantage. Those children that trek to school, you can imagine what goes on in their mind. And when they argue, when they discuss with these ones that are coming from rich family background, that is when inferiority complex comes to play. Because children, they have no secret amongst themselves. You see them telling at times, even those of us who have not seen salad when we were going to primary school, you see other children discussing salad. What did you eat this morning? I ate salad. And then we'll be imagining in our head, what does this salad look like? What do you eat this morning? And for us, the only time we eat chicken is maybe Christmas or Easter time. And then they are telling you in the class, I ate salad and chicken. You are wondering. I thought chicken, salad, these are the things that comes once in a year. Now this one is always telling you, I ate salad, I ate chicken, and then you see how some parents package food for their children. And then the other ones. So some of them may be forced to be begging at that stage, begging from their fellow children. So there are a lot of confusion. There are a lot of things that, and that's where you can now talk about confusion, depression, and then they will come back, see how other parents are taking care of other children, how other parents, come for school run, at times they will even split them water on their way going. And they are asking, are you sure I'm in the right place? And they keep asking themselves a question they don't even know how to ask their parents. Why are my parents not as rich as these children, as the parents of these children? So that is the origin of the confusion. The discussion, the world is not fair to some people. And you now discover that even in the same environment, we talk about environmental and social influence. The way teachers handle children of the rich may not be the same way they handle the children of the poor. Most teachers are equally the ones causing all this problem. They handle the children of the rich with the care, with the love. But all those poor children, the way they handle them can lead them to a lot of confusion, even depression. So you see these children withdraw into themselves. You see these children. So that influence, exposure to the unfair world, a world that is unfair, a world that is unjust. You see, even those children from the rich family, it is also confusing to them. It's not fair because they themselves, the life they live, they will not discover that they are living artificial lives. Children have no enemy at this stage. They don't know the difference between, and that is why they are just like, when you talk about childlike, they just relate freely with every child. They have not decided to, at this stage, discriminate or separate themselves. And you will see parents trying to put it in the mind of their children that they are not the same with the children of the poor. Maybe during, you come for, what do you call it, school run, and you see your child interacting with all those poor children. What are you doing with those children? What are you doing with all those hooligans? If I see you with them again, I will deal with you. So you talk about class difference, social, you start putting it in them that they are different from others. And then you discover that even the so-called children of the rich, they are the ones that suffer most. That they now feel isolated. They now feel, Why are my parents preventing me from playing with my fellow children? Why are the teachers always sensitive? Even during break, the way the teachers will try to protect the children of the rich, you will just notice the difference, because they dare not allow anything to happen to the children of the rich. So they protect them. And then even those children of the rich, the way overprotection, like their parents hardly allow them to come out. Even after school, they had overprotection. They cage them. Most of the rich people cage their children. Overprotection. And then their children, this is a time that children are not free. And they want freedom. The desire to be free is there. The desire to mingle with the outer world is there. And then the parents are suppressing that desire. They don't want them to get hurt. They don't want them to mingle with the rich and the poor. They don't want, and so those children, you discover that they will now withdraw to themselves. They will now start seeing themselves, as not only special, but also the feeling of inferiority complex. Because most of the time you discover that the children of the rich will do everything for their children. They will tend to provide them with everything. And that is the time they miss it. And then those children will now become solely dependent on their parents. Because everything, you carry them to school, you do their homework, and these children will now become foolish in life. Because you have money. You pay the teachers, give them extra money to make sure that your children are well taken care of. You are damaging the future of these children. The discrimination we are having in the world today, the unfair treatment between the rich and the poor, that is when it is clearly established in the life of the children. So the society is not balanced, and the parents, teachers are the ones causing it, because they will now put it in the life of those children that they are not the same. And even worse still, now that missionaries, and they are the one missionary schools, they are the ones now causing the greatest discrimination in the world. Missionary schools are well built. Missionary schools, the moral standard, it is believed that they are trying. But one problem with missionary school, it is only the rich that can afford it. Now they use it as an instrument of discrimination. So the only class of people that can afford missionary school now, especially in Africa, in Nigeria, mainly the rich. And the rich are happy. They can provide the money. When you go to all these missionary schools that are well built, well taken care of, but the only way to show you that all figures are not equal, the only way to tell you that this school here, we are not here to serve the interests of the poor. They don't say it verbally. They don't say it openly. They do that through the school fees. They will make the school fees to become so expensive that poor people cannot afford it. So most of the boarding school, most of the missionary schools now has become agents of discrimination between the poor and the rich. So you will see most of these children of the rich now, it's like a secure place for them. A place where, they say birds of a same feathers flock together. You now discover that the school now, all those rich schools, let me use the word rich, public school, is for the poor. Private school, that is missionary school, is for the rich. Politicians who manage the public school, they hardly send their children to public school. They send their children to missionary schools or abroad. So now there is division. So now these children, they are no longer missing with the poor, unlike before. So you see the gap now, where the gap is created. And unfortunately, the church is part of this instrument of division, instrument of discrimination, class differentiation between the rich and the poor. They are not doing it directly. They are doing it indirectly. Okay? They have done it. They have succeeded in doing it indirectly. They make sure they provide accommodation for the children. Make sure they provide the best of education. All these religious sisters that take the vow of poverty, I don't know whether to call it poverty or property, because I can't imagine a religious that have no children. I can't imagine a religious that took the vow of poverty. I can't imagine a religious that vow to be poor. But most of the schools they manage, they are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. To the extent poor people cannot afford them. So what I'm saying is this. So there is now clear distinction between the poor adolescents, the rich adolescents. So they have used school to divide them, to separate them. Okay? So another thing that happens, do you know that as these children are growing, like most of you think, look at what happens. One, the extreme end, you can hardly see children of the rich at this stage outside. In fact, one of them, when she had the opportunity to come outside, she nearly caused the parents for depriving her the freedom to know how the world look like. They are in cage. You take them to school. You bring them back from school. Okay? Take them to church. Bring them back. You don't even allow them to mingle with other children. And this has been their lifestyle. You think you are doing something wonderful for your children. You think you are protecting your children. Deep within them, there is something they are longing for. And that is the freedom to relate freely with their fellow children. And you are depriving them. It is something when they miss it at this stage, adolescent period. Psychologically, it affects them. Most of these children you see reading here, it's not as if they are intelligent. When you listen to them, if you're a psychologist, all these children will tell, open your mouth, shout, read out. You will discover that I don't know whether to call it shy. The way they read shows you that, oh yes, they are from the rich family. They are not exposed. Some of them, the way they are withdrawn. Okay? Whereas if you expose them to other children, in fact, other children will even bring out the best in them. They will compete with their fellow children. But unfortunately, because of class difference, parents of the rich will always tend to be overprotective of their children. And in this process, they end up training, I don't know whether to call it zombies, even better than them. And if peradventure anything happens to the parents, those children will be confused for life. Because most of the things the parents does for them, they cannot do it for themselves. They will be completely lost, confused. There was a story last time concerning a pastor, a deeper life pastor, who was so strict with the children that he doesn't even allow them to come out. As the story goes, the parents, they live in isolation. They lived cut off from the rest of the society, cut off from the rest of the world. This pastor kept the children. He doesn't allow them to mingle with the rest of the world. The parents died, and the children were confused. They have never met anybody. Even they according to the news, that even the school, the parents were the one teaching them. They don't want the outside world to corrupt their children. They don't want the outside world to pollute their children. They were the one teaching their children at home. So when the parents died, something they have never experienced in their lives, they don't know what to do. They don't know who to call, because they are cut off from the society. The parents were there rotting, and the children were there. They don't even know what is called death. They don't even know what is called. The children were there, but they now discover that when they eventually, I don't even know how they got to know, after the parents have rotted, by the time outsiders discover what happened, they brought out these children, highly intelligent, because their parents have taught them. They were teachers, they taught them at home, but social relationship, zero. And that's why they could not, nobody knew how, the parents have to rot in, because their children were not exposed to the outer world. So that is one of the challenges these adolescents face. Now let me tell you, in the case of our Lord Jesus Christ, during his period of adolescence, he experienced the same thing. That period in his life when he was missing for 3 days. Look at it. How old was he? 12 years. He was just immediately as he was about to enter his period of adolescence, he needed that independence. He needed to break out from his family. So they went and he withdrew, entered in the midst of elders. And the parents were looking for him for 3 days. And look at how stubborn he was. When Mary was asking him, "Look, child, your father and I have been looking for you for the past 3 days." Instead of him to apologize, "Why were you looking for me? Must I not be after my father's work?" That is a typical adolescent. Imagine if this was to be in Africa, the mother would have given him a dirty slap or a knock. He will live to remember. That is what I'm talking about. That you cannot hide it. You cannot shy away from it. Even Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, faced the adolescent crisis. Okay, he needed that space. He needed to mix up with the outer world, and that is one thing parents don't understand. Overprotection, and the children, any little chance you give them, they utilize it. And that was what happened. For the first time, Jesus, mixed up, saw people. "Hey, teachers," he went and joined them. Not minding what the parents are feeling, not minding what they are taking. His own is that he needed that freedom. So 3 days they were looking for him, and he doesn't even care. No apology. He didn't say, "Oh, Mom, I'm sorry." Nothing. That is adolescence for you. They can break your heart if you are not careful. But Mary, that woman will say, "I don't know. That woman, I don't know if she's an ordinary woman, no." Because I can imagine my mother. And do you know why I'm not a footballer today? It's because of my parents. Let them see you in the field. After playing football that day, it is football you will eat. So that is it. But Mary pondered everything in her heart. She just took her baby home. And then, oh my God. So please, no matter what your children are doing at this stage, if you are not careful, you can even kill them. If you don't have patience, there are things they will exhibit. Because you know that this is not what you have taught your children. Okay? Somebody say it is a pushing stage in life. If you don't handle them with care, that is when most of these people oversee. That is when you get into trouble with the government, because you may decide to injure your children. You find them, they will come and take away your children. So you need to be patient with them. You need to handle them with care. But the most important thing is know when to give them a little space. If they need to play with other children, allow them that little space, and then monitor them so that they will not hurt themselves. But don't cage your children. It's not a period of caging, overprotection. And these children, most of them can be depressed. Listen to the way they speak. Listen to the way you know that something is lacking. You know, you are giving them everything. You are testing, ask them, but if you are providing you with everything, there is enough food in the house. That is not what they are looking for. They need to, interact with their fellow children, learn a bit. And then the only thing, avoid bad friends. Always hammer it on their ear. Avoid bad friends. And there is time for everything. Let the children know that there is time for everything. Overprotection is not the way forward. And the most important thing is, at this stage, bring them up in the way of God. Because the book of Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should grow. And when that child grows up, he will never depart from God. This is a time to give these children the best of formation. Introduce them to the things of God. Don't just allow them, because they are learning a lot of things outside there that are confusing them. Be patient with them. Love them. Show them love. Never you show them any hardship, and then never you allow your temper to take the better part of you.